The crew of the small human ship drifted through the quiet stretch of space that separated the central trade routes from the quieter border sectors. At the front of the ship stood Alex, a calm and steady explorer who had spent many years traveling across distant star zones. Alex was known among fellow travelers as someone who never rushed into anything and always tried to help others when possible. The ship was modest, built for long journeys rather than grand missions. Still, it carried everything needed for a peaceful voyage. Alex had planned to stop near a calm region to study a cluster of glowing dust fields. Those fields were famous for their strange colors that shifted depending on perspective. Some said they carried an unusual energy. Alex wanted samples, but also enjoyed the silence of deep space. Peace was rare, and quiet stops made the long journeys meaningful. The ship moved gently toward the glowing haze when an unexpected message appeared on the screen. It was faint, almost broken, as if the sender had struggled to send it. The message showed a simple request for assistance. There was no name, only that someone needed help. Alex paused, confused, because the region was empty according to maps. Yet the frequency was real. After a moment of thought, Alex decided to follow it. Helping others mattered more than collecting dust samples. The ship turned toward the source, and within minutes, the screens filled with the image of a small, elegant vessel shaped like a silver leaf. The craft drifted without power, lights dim, as if it had been resting for a long time. It looked nothing like the designs of nearby star groups. It carried symbols carved into the hull, smooth and flowing like artwork. Alex scanned the ship and received confirmation that life signs were present but weak. There was no sign of danger, only stillness. Without hesitation, Alex moved closer and activated a docking link. Inside the strange ship, quiet filled the soft corridors. The walls glowed faintly with gentle light, showing that the vessel used organic energy instead of mechanical circuits. Alex walked slowly, calling out for anyone nearby. The air was warm and carried a faint scent of flowers. It felt less like a machine and more like a quiet sanctuary. At the end of the hallway rested a round chamber with a seat shaped like a blooming petal. In this seat sat someone who looked unlike anyone Alex had met before. She appeared young and carried the calm grace of someone raised with gentle traditions. Her hair flowed like strands of pale silver. Her eyes shimmered with soft blue light. Her clothing looked woven from threads that reflected the glow of the walls. She watched Alex with a surprised expression, as if she had expected someone else entirely. For a moment, both remained silent. She finally spoke in a voice that carried warmth. She asked who Alex was and how a human ship had reached her. Alex explained the simple truth. There had been a faint call for help. No one else seemed nearby. Helping someone in distress was the natural thing to do. She blinked several times as if amazed. She introduced herself as Lyra, the princess of a distant star domain known for its peaceful culture. Her ship had been traveling to attend a diplomatic gathering when a sudden system failure left her stranded far from her route. She had sent out a call for assistance, but had not expected a human to answer. Her tone held surprise, mixed with curiosity. She had heard many stories about humans. Some stories said humans were strong but unpredictable. Others described them as ambitious explorers who often changed the course of events without intending to. She had never met one in person. Seeing Alex arrive calmly and politely had caught her completely off guard. She had expected someone loud or overly proud based on stories told by elders. Instead, she found someone who simply wished to help out. Alex checked the ship's systems and quickly learned that the energy core had slipped out of alignment. It was not broken, only dormant. With some careful adjustments, the ship could function again. Lyra watched closely as Alex worked with steady hands. She seemed impressed by the focus and skill. Alex explained what each adjustment did. She listened with interest, asking questions that showed she wanted to understand humans better rather than judge them. While fixing the energy core, Alex learned that Lyra came from a culture where leaders were taught from childhood to focus on peace and communication. They believed harmony brought more progress than force. Her journey was meant to strengthen alliances between different star groups. She traveled alone in the small vessel to show trust. Her people believed that sincerity was stronger when not guarded by large escorts. Alex admired the thought behind her traditions. It was refreshing to meet someone whose society valued calm understanding over fear. Lyra felt the same about humans after watching Alex. The stories she had been told were clearly incomplete. Humans had many sides, just like any other group. She began to see that Alex represented a quieter, steadier kind of human nature. When the core finally lit up again, the ship regained its soft glow. Lyra looked around with a joyful smile. Her relief was clear. She turned to Alex and said she owed a great deal of thanks. Alex shook their head gently and said it was simply what anyone should do for another traveler. She seemed touched by the modest answer. Lyra invited Alex to sit for a moment and share a warm drink made from her people's plants. The drink tasted sweet and soothing. The two sat together in the quiet chamber, surrounded by soft light. She asked about Earth and the human habit of exploring even the farthest regions. Alex explained that humans had always been curious. They looked beyond borders because they wanted to understand their place in the universe. They learned as they traveled, not because they wished to dominate, but because they wished to grow. Lyra smiled at that. Her people valued the same philosophy. She said she wished more groups would choose curiosity and kindness over fear. She shared stories about her homeworld, where floating gardens drifted above rivers that shone like crystal. Her people grew their food in woven spheres that hung from branches. They believed nature and technology should support each other. As she spoke, Alex imagined the peaceful world she described. It sounded like a place worth visiting. The conversation stretched on as the ship drifted gently. Lyra found herself studying Alex with growing interest. She said she had expected her first encounter with a human to be complicated. Instead, she had met someone who reminded her that kindness was universal. Alex replied that her calm nature made the meeting easier as well. It made the situation feel like two travelers sharing a unique moment rather than two cultures meeting with tension. Still, Lyra admitted she was caught completely off guard the moment Alex arrived. She had been resting, unsure if her message had reached anyone. When she saw the hatch open and a human step in with careful politeness, she did not know what to think. But the longer they talked, the more she felt at ease. Alex eventually asked where her diplomatic gathering was located. Lyra explained her destination. The location was not too far from the current region if one used a shortcut path that most ships ignored because of the drifting dust fields. Alex offered to escort her there, explaining that it would take only a few days. Lyra accepted with gratitude. Having a companion eased her worries. Her ship could travel again, but she did not want to face further trouble alone. The two ships traveled side by side through the quiet expanse. During the journey, they often spoke through the communication link, sharing stories about their worlds. Alex taught Lyra simple words in human languages. She tried them carefully, sometimes mispronouncing them, which made both laugh softly. She also taught Alex phrases from her own language. Her words sounded musical, almost like small melodies. As they traveled deeper into the dust fields, the view grew stunning. Clouds of glowing particles drifted like waves. Light bent into soft colors. Lyra pressed her palms gently against the window, amazed by the beauty. Alex explained the scientific reasons behind the colors, but also admitted that science alone could not capture how peaceful the view felt. She nodded in agreement. Some moments were meant to be felt rather than measured. Sometimes Their ship slowed to drift quietly so they could enjoy the scenery. Lyra said she wished her people could see this place. Alex encouraged her to share the experience at her gathering. She promised she would. She thought it would make others appreciate the calm spaces in the universe. On the third day, the dust cleared, and the bright star of her destination appeared. Lyra's gathering station floated like a shimmering ring above a gentle blue planet. It looked peaceful and welcoming. As the two ships approached, Lyra turned on her screen to see Alex clearly. She looked grateful. She thanked Alex not only for the rescue, but also for the companionship. She said the journey had become a memory she would treasure. Alex smiled warmly and said it had been an honor to help. Lyra hesitated for a moment before speaking again. She said she hoped this would not be their last meeting. Alex replied that the universe was wide and full of intersections. Travelers often crossed paths again in unexpected ways. That answer made her smile brightly as Alex prepared to turn back toward the outer regions. Lyra gently placed her hand against the screen. A simple gesture of connection. Alex returned the gesture with a soft nod. Her ship glided forward toward the gathering station, while Alex's ship drifted back into the silence of space. Even as distance grew between them, Lyra kept thinking about the unexpected human who arrived with Stee.